Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Today's video is going to be, you know what? It's going to be back into commentary. We're going to be talking about commentary stuff again. Well, technically commentary. Today, we're going to be talking about Unity and what Unity's been doing recently, which is a bit of a fucking mess, right? I think we can all agree that Unity's going off the deep end. And if you don't know what's going on with Unity, I'm not very like business savvy. I don't know much about business in general. So correct me if I'm wrong here when it comes to the Unity stuff. But they're going to be charging developers more money per install. It could be more than that. There's a better description of how it goes, and I'll leave that link in the description for you guys to watch. He explains it much better than probably anybody would, but he kind of just explains it in terms of like how it works. Like I said, sorry for not being super business savvy, but they're charging developers for more installs, everything like that. And this can ruin businesses, right? This is literally what will put businesses out of business. This is what will put developers, out of capability of making, actual money so they can continue to improve games and make more games, especially if they make, a quality game. A good example is Moist Critical uses this example is imagine if you are a YouTuber, right? You're editing your videos on, I use DaVinci Resolve, right? Let's say at every point where my video hits a specific amount of views, Resolve expects me to pay them a share of what I make. And you can see how fucking bad that is. You can understand that that's pretty bad, right? For every 100 view, I have to give them like 20 cents or something, right? Pretty fucking bad. It's not good at all. We don't like that, right? That's pointless, right? Because the developers, they pay Unity to use their software to create their games, stuff like that, right? That's how they make their money. That's how Unity's been making their money, right? So what is the purpose of expecting them to pay you even more money of your shares when it's your game, right? You made the game. It's not Unity that made the game. It's you who made the game. This is in general just destroying Unity. This is the death of Unity. A big thing that I noticed though is that the shares, okay? So basically a lot of people within Unity, a lot of these higher ups, right? They sold their shares in Unity before making this announcement. So, and we're not talking about like a couple of shares. We're not talking about that. We're talking a lot of shares. We're talking quite a bit here. So this is an interesting situation going on here. To me, it sounds like scamming, right? To me, it sounds like they're doing this to scam and then to kill the business, right? That's kind of, I don't know if you can call it scamming, but in my eyes, I consider that to be pretty much the equivalent of illegal activity and scamming. I mean, again, you're selling your shares right before the end of your company, right? That would entitle it to be kind of scummy. I would assume that's pretty scummy. And the guy who is the CEO, can't believe this is a thing. He used to work for EA. And before I even say this, I just want you guys to sit down and just listen and think about this for a second. He was too money hungry for EA. This CEO was too money hungry for EA. We're talking about EA right now. One of the worst companies when it comes to microtransactions, literal greed. I mean, we're talking about greed. These are the people who make sports games, right? This is the people who make Madden every year, right? They repeat the same garbage every single fucking year. The Madden games have actually changed to $70 instead of $60. This company is the definition of greed, and somehow this man has one-upped them. I cannot believe it. That is impressive to me. You know what? I'll commend him. I'll give him a round of applause. You have managed to be greedier than EA. He also is a guy who is, I believe, once said that we should be. It was pertaining to Battlefield, that after every like specific amount of minutes you need to pay $1 to reload your clip, which is insane to me. That is the definition of greed. That is literally what greed is. This guy is insane. All right, we're talking about an insane person, because that's crazy to me, right? I could not fathom or understand the idea of charging somebody to reload a clip in a first-person shooter. Like that to me is insane. This is like the equivalent of, arcade games, right? You do that at arcades when you play those like shooting games at the arcade, and you fucking, you know what I mean? You run out of lives or you run out of health, and then it's like wipe your card to start over. And it's not like start over obviously from the beginning, but start over from where you started. It's literally the equivalent of that, which is baffling to me, because we're talking about these like AAA games, that don't need you to even spend money, because the $60 you just spent on the game is enough to fucking pay the company enough anyways. I mean, these companies make loads of money money, right? Off of these AAA games. Now imagine them having to give all of that money to Unity instead of them getting the money, right? It's sickening, dude. It's disgusting. I think it's fucking gross. I think it's weird. Why would you do that to people who enjoy video games? Why would you do that to some of these companies? And the craziest thing is that there are, you know, game devs who are great at making video games, but something like this could 100% ruin the entirety of that company. It'll ruin that developer's, you know, livelihood, their career. A good example is, I believe, Danny, the guy who created Crab Game. He actually put down an analysis of how much he would owe them if that was the case. It was, to say the least, a lot of money, something that he could not afford, something he 100% could not afford. Games that are free to play, yeah, you're screwed. You can't be free to play anymore if you're using Unity. Like, it's insane. You have to make a game that costs money at this point because you need at least some way of making money. And at the end of the day, I just think it's ridiculous that these companies are, you know, these companies like Unity are doing this for greed and money. I don't know, man. It's disgusting. I think it's freakish behavior. I think it's fucking terrible, right? To some extent, I feel like something like this should be illegal, which after watching Charlie's video, he kind of says that he doesn't know if it's illegal. Same with me. I was going to say that too, is that I would assume that maybe something like this would be considered illegal. Maybe not. Hopefully, maybe there's lawsuits that happen to kind of fuck Unity over, because again, this is just fucking brain-lit bullshit, right? This is disgusting. This is fucking disgusting behavior. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to rant a little bit about the Unity stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.